that.
They are the hurdle. I'm sorry.
The Birds are still the hurdle.
That's my overreaction week 1.
Your overreaction week 1 is the Packers are more of a hurdle than the Eagles?
They are the hurdle.
Welcome in, everybody, to a Monday edition of Birds 365, following week 1 of the NFL with one game to play left in week 1. The good news is our Philadelphia Eagles sit at 1-0, getting ready for week 2 versus the Kansas City Chiefs coming up this Sunday. Johnny Mac, how you doing on this Monday morning?
All footballed out, and we still got one to go.
Yeah.
A lot of football yesterday.
Tons of football, Johnny Mac. What'd you make of it overall? We'll talk about the game. We'll talk about, obviously, the Eagles and the ramifications for them. We'll talk about Landon Dickerson. We'll get some of the updates on that. But just your thoughts on week 1 of the NFL yesterday, the full slate, obviously.
Yeah, well, phenomenal game last night. I feel like every year the Buffalo Bills play the game of the year, and we got it out of the way earlier because nothing is matching that the rest of the way. That was phenomenal. Boy, man, you in the Monter game. I love John Harbaugh as a coach, but the Monter game, you got to go for the win. You can't sit back. The minute they punt that football and they got conservative, the game's over. Game's over. When you're facing a high-powered offense, and obviously everything was clicking for Josh Allen, that throw to Josh Palmer late was just phenomenal. There's like 2 guys in the world who can make that throw.
That throw was incredible.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like, boy, you got to go win games. And there's a lot of bad breaks. Obviously, Derrick Henry had a phenomenal game and fumbled. You don't expect that. They stopped him on that 4th down. He's trying to throw it to Dalton Kincaid. It goes off his hand, and Coleman catches it, which is just bad luck. But so some things, when you come back from those deficits, you need some breaks, obviously. But still, boy, I don't like John Harbaugh's mentality in those late game situations. I don't like it. You got to go win games now. It's not like it was in the 70s, right, where you just flip the field and punt and leave. You're giving up the game, essentially, especially against a quarterback like that. So that's my biggest takeaway from Buffalo. But phenomenal game. They played, like I said, I feel like every year the most exciting game, the game of the year, so to speak, is always Buffalo. And I think we got it out of the way early, unfortunately. And then some other stuff. But, Eagles fans are going to get pissed off. Because then they did get pissed off when I said it yesterday. Not everything's about the Eagles. The Packers are going to be a freaking problem, man.
They're good, John. They're good. I mean, I don't
my
know.
God.
Good team.
My God. Yeah, it's one game. Detroit played like shit, and their coordinator, they're going to have a difficult time replicating. And we'll see what Ben Johnson does as a head coach tonight, but they're going to have a tough time replicating what they did. But they couldn't do anything against that Green Bay defense. And Micah wasn't even playing that much. And he was, he was taking pennies to the woodshed when he was playing. Boy, and you heard Jay Glazer's report. Bad couple days for the people getting on me about, I thought you said they were looking for an edge rusher.
We got to talk about that, boy. That was a big trade package the Birds are ready to send.
All of a sudden, Za'Darius Smith is here, and before that, they're trying to give up 2 number 1s, a 3 and a 5, and amongst other things. But people forget that. And Jerry wasn't going to trade him in the division, which I don't blame him, by the way. One of the few sound decisions he made. But that's the point. If they pull off that trade, the Eagles, barring catastrophic injuries, which is baked into everything,
right?
They're winning another Super Bowl. It's over. It's as close to over as it could possibly be.
Well, it appears Howie agrees with you because he was ready to ship. He was ready to ship quite a bit, John, to acquire Micah Parsons.
And the same thing is happening with the Packers. That's the kind of seismic impact. And that team is going to be the robot. It's going to be the hurdle for everybody else. I'm sorry, Eagles fans. You've been replaced already. They are the hurdle.
No, I don't think you can say that.
They are the hurdle. I'm sorry.
The Birds are still the hurdle.
That's my overreaction week one.
Your overreaction week one is the Packers are more of a hurdle than the
They
Eagles?
are the hurdle. They are the team similar to last year. It wasn't the Eagles. It was Detroit. Similar to last year. Doesn't mean you can't get over it, but they are the hurdle.
Wow. Johnny Mac on a Monday morning said, I'm pouring water on your fire, Eagles fans. Look, I love it. It was a good game, though. That Packers team is good. They got a good defense, good offense. Jordan Love looked pretty good yesterday. How about the Lions, though, John? I don't think they're going to be as good this year, man. That offensive line looked shoddy yesterday a little bit. Coaching performance, obviously, we talked about the difference there. I didn't get it. Jared Goff throws the ball 39 times, and they got 13 points on the board. Sometimes it doesn't all add up. But what'd you make of the Lions, who you just mentioned? They might regress this year.
Yeah, well, I think the offensive coordinator situation is such a downgrade.
Yeah,
that's number one. Two, as you point out, the offensive line, the interior. Frank Ragnow retiring just destroyed them. I don't think people recognize how good that guy was. And then they had to move one of their guards inside the center to replace him. So they get worse at two positions. And then they got a rookie playing the other position. So it's going to be great. They're still going to be a good team. They're still going to be a playoff team, I think. They have too much talent. Although the other thing I saw about that game, because I did watch that game completely, Aiden Hutchinson does not look like the same dude. And that's coming off a very, very serious. Now, maybe he gets there. Because it's a very, very serious injury. But he did not look like the guy before the injury.
Yeah.
And if he's not that guy, they're gonna have some issues. Now, maybe he just needs time to ramp up, but they need him to get back to at least close to what he was. Yeah, that was a statement game. As much as you can have a statement in week one, because of how good Detroit was last year, and they're back healthy. That was a statement game.
No doubt about it. John, one more game.
It's not only Micah Parsons, because you put them in this situation where they already have Rashawn Gary. They already have Rashawn Gary. They have Lucas Van Ness, who's starting to come on. So former first round. I broke my own rule. First round pick. They're gonna be a problem.
They are. They're going to be good. John, one more game I want to talk about, and then we're going to get into the Eagles. And the game that I want to talk about does apply to the Eagles. Did you catch any of the Friday night game between the Chargers and the Chiefs? That was a pretty good game. Justin Herbert looked awesome in that game. And the Kansas City Chiefs, John, maybe you're on to something. I don't know what you thought of their performance, but that's who the Eagles' week 2 opponent is, obviously. So we're going to hone in on that a little bit. What'd you make of that game?
Yeah, I've said it pretty consistent. I think the Eagles broke me on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
I don't see it with that team anymore. Now the injuries hurt at wide receiver. They don't have any speed again at wide receiver. Kelsey's a declining player, so I mean, he's a bigger star because of his fiance, but he's a declining player. So Patrick Mahomes is still great, and you see some of the off-schedule stuff, but he just doesn't have the weapons. And they've gotten a little bit better on the offensive line, but I rarely do this. But since I went down that hot take already, I'll do it. I'll tell you, it's Monday. I'm picking the Eagles in this game. I don't care. It's on the road. I mean, that team is reputation based now. And I picked the Chargers to win that division. I think they're going to win that division.
Yeah.
I hope Eagles fans watch that, because they could watch it, because I don't understand their blatant hatred of Justin Herbert. The dude can play.
He looked good on Friday night. Got to give him credit there. He looked good, man.
And again, Jim Harbaugh maybe pops up, very similar to his brother. Good coach, but I don't think he coaches the right way. So maybe that they're not going to win the Super Bowl, the Chargers, but I think they're going to win the division, and ultimately the way he plays will probably, kill them in the playoffs. But Yeah, Kansas City to me is an obviously declining team.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. John, let's get into the Eagles a little bit. We still will talk more about week one. We got Jeff Kerr coming up. We'll talk about Giants, Commanders. We'll talk about some of the other games, but I did want to get in because, the Eagles made a move on Friday that we didn't have a chance to talk about here on Birds 365. We did get John on for a breaking news reaction, which was notorious from this super chat here that Niall puts in. Niall, thanks, brother. He says, best part of last week's shows was J-Mac getting attacked by a bee on the Za'Darius Smith. Great pickup. Eagles needed a power pass rusher. So that brings me right to it. John did give a reaction on the National Football Show on Za'Darius Smith. But John, here on Birds 365, what do you think of the Eagles' latest addition that they made late on a football Friday?
Yeah, I think it's an improvement. Now, obviously, you have to see where he is physically, and you have to. There's always concern with older players and when the decline begins, but he was still pretty good last year. Again, levels here. He's a heck of a lot better than Azeez Ojulari and Obo, and even if Josh Uche, because I think Josh played pretty well in his limited snaps in week one, but he's obviously better than those guys. And then if you're being honest, it's very likely still better than Jalen Hunt. And if he hits, he's better than Nolan Smith. He has been better than Nolan Smith.
Right.
So this makes the Philadelphia Eagles a better team. Simple. So I have no problems with it. You swing for the fences with Micah, which is, that was one-sided. It doesn't matter how much you offer if the other team has no interest in listening.
I don't know. I know. Listen, I don't know if this guy knows a damn thing, but there's this dude on Twitter. What's his name? Micah Parsons' his brother. He loves to stir the NFL pot on Twitter, and he goes back and forth with all the fan bases. And he quote tweeted the report and was like, the craziest part about this is Jerry Jones was damn near ready to do it. And I'm like, I don't know if he knows a thing. He might not know a thing, but I could see Jerry being like, who gives a shit? Like, just because Jerry doesn't give a rat's ass.
Well, then why didn't he do it?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe somebody talked him off the ledge.
Yeah, no, I mean, and he has been talked off the ledge before, most notably Johnny Manziel. So, if it were that close, he would have done it. It was a better offer. It
was.
It was one-sided. It was never going to happen. And again, so you get two number ones and Kenny Clark, and the Eagles offer two. And I think people missed the last part that Jay said: two number ones, a 3, a 5, amongst other things. That means they were sending a player as well. Now you can debate who that player was or who it was going to be. If you use the linear mindset of Jerry Jones was looking for a run stopper, then you immediately go to Jordan Davis. Right. However, again, he doesn't have a linear mindset. So that was just spin and narrative about the player he got. So it could be anybody. But the bottom line is it was a significantly better offer. And he didn't want to he didn't even want to trade him in the NFC, but evidently couldn't get any traction in the AFC. So he, unfortunately for everybody else in the NFC, kept him in the conference. He wasn't coming here, but
it still is. The takeaway for me is that
he wanted to come here,
right? But if the Eagles identify a player, they're going to be willing to spend at that position. I mean, they haven't necessarily spent crazy at that position in the past outside of the draft picks, but it's going to be interesting to see. They do end up with Za'Darius Smith, John. I think Niall brings up the one point that I am excited about with him, and we do have to see how he pans out as an older player in the league. But we got our size. We talked about this. We got a lot of small edge rushers on this football team. Za'Darius Smith is not small. He is much bigger than the edge rushers that the Eagles currently have. So I think that's a big addition as well, that you give yourself some size at the defensive end position.
I'm not as worried about that. I'm just glad they got somebody who knows how to rush the passer. I mean, this guy's been a long time effective pass rusher. long time
He
effective
had 9
pass
sacks
rusher.
last year, John,
And he's one of the, yeah.
and a lot of pressures
And
too.
he's got, he's been doing it for a long time, really since he broke through in Baltimore in 2018. He's been a big time pass rusher in this league. And he can do it from all angles. He can play inside. He's played inside. He can play outside as a pass rusher. The size thing, he's much bigger than typically, but the Eagles have shown that hasn't really hampered them. And I think that's just the evolution of the game. I'm more concerned with they got somebody who understands how to pass rush, is a finisher, and he will probably be their best pass rusher.
Yeah, which
Again, now you have to be careful because of the age, but the Eagles kind of started this as they usually do ahead of the curve. If you go back to the Super Bowl 57 year in season when they bring in Linval Joseph and Dominican Sue,
right.
this sort of, I've called it the mercenary market, where these guys don't want to do this bullshit in the off season. They're, he's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to sit there in OTAs. And so they pick and choose and wait. And sometimes they come in early, sometimes they come in late. These veteran players. So you have to be careful of that decline. But this guy should, last year, if you just take last year, he's their best pass rusher. So if the decline isn't a fall off dramatically, and I'm including Nolan Smith, he's their best pass rusher. I'm not including the edge rusher, I'm saying. Not including Jalen Carter. But, yeah, so it's a significant upgrade.
Speaking of Za'Darius Smith, it is his birthday today, so he turns 33 years old today before he takes a snap in Eagle Green.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Big difference between 32 and 33.
Listen, it's one tick higher, John, on the clock. We'll see how Za'Darius pans out. John, what other updates on the Eagles? I know we're waiting on updates from Landon Dickerson. I'm not sure if you had a chance to rewatch the game yet. I know some people put out some updates. Jahad Campbell came out. He was the highest graded defensive player in that football game. I want to talk about him a little bit. And then I want to start to prep for the Chiefs. Obviously, we still have a week to go for that. But what other updates are we waiting on for the Birds? I think Landon Dickerson is the most notorious of the updates that we're
we're going to talk to Nick Sirianni today. We didn't get to talk to him after the game because of the weird Thursday night. So really it ramps back up Eagles wise today. We'll talk to him today, coordinators tomorrow. Not that Nick Sirianni is going to give us anything with injuries. I don't think it's terribly serious with Landon, but again, if this thing keeps cropping up, if he's not going to finish games, if he is going to finish games, I'm more concerned about Will Shipley, at least short term, because you have, his rib injury. If he's not able to play, all of a sudden you're down to Saquon Barkley and AJ Dillon at running back. So I know a lot of people, the Eagles waived Kenyon Green and they have an open roster spot and everybody thinks, oh, he's going outside. I think he just might be elevating Ultra Estime. If Will Shipley's going to be, it's not, going to be season ending, but if he's got to miss a couple of weeks, you need another running back. And
I don't know if AJ Dillon can serve that role that Shipley was serving.
Oh no, completely different player.
Completely. I mean, you saw Dillon when they gave him 3 carries in a row. By the third carry, it already looked like he had lost some juice.
Yeah, that and plus Will's a great receiver. It actually turned into I was one of their most explosive plays of the game. Little throw in the flat to Will Shipley ended up getting 20 yards. It ended up being a run because evidently they thought it was behind the line of scrimmage, but either way, it doesn't matter. As far as the pass catching part of it, and they're just completely different players. Now, if you need somebody to run between the tackles, you'd rather have AJ Dillon than Will Shipley. But the point is, you need more than one backup running back. So that to me is the key injury to keep an eye on. If that's a week to week injury, if he's gonna miss a couple weeks, um, they might have to do something at running back. Um, so and then corner, yeah, I think everybody's overreacting to corner. They're going to give Jacorian Bennett a chance to prove that he can't play. And when they get to that point, obviously you'll know it. And I think the overreaction to Adoree Jackson is a little bit over the top as well. But that to me is I'm not going to blame people for their week one overreactions because I just gave you a week one overreaction.
You did give us a week one overreaction.
But I mean, it is, and I do partially tongue in cheek. It is, people do overreact to week one. It's just what they do.
Well, somebody put in, I don't know if you've looked at the PFF grades on week one. Adoree Jackson apparently did not come back very good, John.
Oh, nobody's saying he played well. I'm just saying the overreaction that's going to continue.
But the grading does support the people who say he played like dog shit. I mean, the grading supports it.
Well, he did not play well. Nobody's trying to. What I'm trying to say is, as a veteran player, the assumption that that's going to be consistent. It's like Jahad Campbell had a phenomenal grade. Guess what? That's not going to be consistent for 17 weeks. It's just the way the NFL goes. You have ups and downs, and it's an EKG. But Adoree Jackson knows how to play. And he even in that game when he was struggling, he made a couple plays before he got evaluated with a concussion. The one where he got the pass breakup almost was an interception from Byron Young. Obviously, you can't count on Byron to make that kind of play, but he had a shot. And that changes the whole narrative. So I do think he didn't play well, but I think people are overreacting. And again, I said, watch the rest of the league. If you did watch the rest of the league, I don't know how many, we're going to have Jeff Kerr pop up. How many first round picks does Baltimore have in the secondary? They're getting gashed left and right.
Yeah, they were.
Now, granted, it's Josh Allen. Cornerbacks are going to get beat.
They are. We'll see what they end up doing. I don't know if Howie's going to be comfortable with Adoree. We'll see what his motive is there. John, one more topic I want to hit with you before we get to Jeff Kerr. We got Jeff Kerr in the green room. Hope he coming up. And then we'll have Chris Franklin in hour number 2. So a great Monday show planned for everybody. Don't forget to hit that like button. Appreciate all of our great people in the chat. Another week of football, everybody. We are in the mix. I love it. Absolutely love it. John, Jalen Carter, there's some talk around potential further discipline coming for Jalen Carter. Do you know anything? Have you heard anything? What can you uncover? What can you tell us about what to expect with Jalen Carter coming up this week?
Well, it's probably going to come out today. So and you can bring Jeff up now because he can. So because a lot of people, I wrote about this, and of course people don't read it. So what's changed between now? There's a lot of thought that the NFL might give him a 1-game suspension. In history of spitting incident, the long and storied history of spitting incidents, they typically just fine the player. So everybody, why did they change it? Why did they change it? Because at the owners' meeting, they told everybody they're changing. They want to eliminate this kind of stuff from the game. They told the coaches, the executives, the owners themselves, 0 tolerance on this bullshit. That's reason people are thinking they might set an example. Not because, and God love you, Governor Josh Shapiro, not because they hate the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, they love the Philadelphia Eagles. They're not picking on Jalen Carter. They want to remove this stuff from the game. They also want to remove the gestures. And I don't, personally, I think it's stupid. I don't care. But they've stated they want it. It's a point of emphasis. They want to remove it from the game. So anything that shows violence, whether it's, a gun thing, even as stupid as shooting off your fake guns or the stupid swipe that they think is partially sexually suggestive. They want to remove these things from the game. Is it an overreaction? Maybe. But I always say with people who constantly complain about officials, number one, why do you even watch the game if all you're going to do is complain about officials?
Well, I'm
But
not
number
complaining about
two,
it. I'm just wondering what happens to Jalen Carter, because I don't think they're wrong, honestly,
but
the NFL about that. But go ahead.
but number two is um the people that are like that, you hate the legislation. You don't hate that. That's what the officials are being told to do. And they're making the decision they're being told to do. So you're not even hating the right people. You hate the legislation, which is fine, but that's like if your town has too high taxes, you hate the legislation. There's nothing you can do about it. From the standpoint if you're working and you have to enforce the laws. So they're enforcing the laws. It's a point of emphasis. Jeff, jump in here. Drives me crazy. I wrote about this. I explained the difference, and everybody got in on the comments and said, well, why are they changing it for the Eagles? Not everything's about the Eagles.
It was the first game of the season, and a star player, probably the best player on the whole damn football team, decided to spit on the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
It doesn't take a genius to realize that that's not a good look for the NFL.
This is and I had a debate. It was a really good debate. By the way, this is what happens when you actually go out and talk to people and not go on the internet. Don't you think, and someone pointed this out to me, and I thought it was a good conversation. Don't you think, in a way, he was suspended already? And they said, and this person did think he was going to get suspended too. And I said, yes and no. I said, he was kicked out of the game. He was kicked out of the game before he played the snap, but he still gets credit for playing in that game. Therefore, he was not suspended.
Well, in the past, I think before it was a point of emphasis, I think they would have considered it a de facto suspension, and he would have been back in week 2.
Yeah,
and maybe that still happens.
Last year, that would have been the case.
Yeah. So that part I agree with, but I would not be surprised. And by the way, I think the Eagles might be. I'm not excited, but I think the Eagles might be all right. Thank you for taking this off our plate, because then you're going to have all. And I already heard, well, you got to sit them for a series. What does that do?
No.
You got to sit them for a half. Very collegey bullshit. If he's there, I'm going to play him from snap one because I'm just trying to win football games. But I think the Eagles would like the NFL to take that responsibility off their plate, to be honest.
I would agree. And, John, do you think it'd come today or tomorrow? I think they would wait till after today's game to do it.
Well, they might. Everybody was pointing towards Monday. But they don't like to impact games, so you might have something there. But
I got really upset when people are bringing up to me prior spitting incidents when I wrote my column. And by the way, my column was not about Jalen Carter getting suspended. It was all the goodwill Jalen Carter has brought to himself and how he's turned himself around. I literally had people that I work with saying, "Oh, that's the guy that we know from Georgia."
I know. And those people are idiots too, by the way.
I agree. And I wrote that and I said, but unfortunately, it's stuff people remember. It just is.
And hey, anybody who watches this show knows I like Jalen Carter a lot.
I think Jalen Carter.
I think he's misunderstood. I think he's so he's so polite. He's such a nice person off the field. All it is a little bit of a lack of maturity, I would say.
I would say he's a competitor that just does silly things in the moment.
Yeah. Very similar to Ndamukong Suh from that standpoint early in his career. But yeah, that doesn't excuse it. But the people that want to make this out to be like he's, again, even with the horrible incident that happened at Georgia, which affected lives, so I'm not trying to dismiss that at all. But what I do say is he wasn't out robbing banks. He's not like a consistent criminal who's, he made some very serious mistakes and he continues to make some poor judgments. But but that doesn't make you the worst person in the world. So
Yeah.
I don't like those.
Unfortunately,
People.
unfortunately, in 2025, everything is just built to the
Yeah, I think we can all agree though. Spitting on somebody is a pretty low class behavior. I don't get.
That's how I wrote it.
I'm
from the
not
NFL's perspective, like I have a
defending
hard
that.
time. I get for people who are like, oh, why are they changing the rule? But for the people who can't understand why the NFL would want to discipline that, I don't understand that mindset. I mean, they got the first game of the year, maybe one of the most watched games of week one, and it starts off with the star of the Eagles defense spitting on the star on Dallas. I mean, come on, guys. That's terrible look for the shield, as everybody calls it.
You know what, Xander? This is how I put it in perspective. And again, this is how low the Dallas defense has gotten over the years. If Kenny Clark would have done the same thing to Jalen Hurts, Eagles fans would want him suspended the entire season, no matter what Jalen did to provoke him.
Well, they would want him suspended, but
that's just the way. That's why I don't listen to people.
No, yeah, you're 100% right. I mean, anybody defending him is crazy. Yeah.
Doc spit in his direction. Yeah, okay. Sure,
all right.